Patrick Bet David destroys the woke media. Hi guys, you're watching Bring the Asteroid. Make sure you like today's video, subscribe to the channel, and we'll get right into it.
Exciting stuff with this taking place. With that being said, Tom, let's get right into it. VP debate happened 2 nights ago, right? And during this debate, nobody knew what was going on. The media was selling that Walz is nervous, and the media was selling that J.D. Vance is not likable. Everybody was waiting for J.D. Vance to come in, to be an a-hole, to be a jerk, to be pompous, to be arrogant, to not be liked. This guy just thinks he knows it all. The audience is not going to like him. And then all of a sudden, Rob, do you have any of the clips of what people were saying afterwards, saying JD won, JD won, JD won, JD won? If you don't have it, let's play one of the clips and you can look for it afterwards. But show a couple of the highlights, Rob. Whatever you got, just show us a couple of highlights and we'll respond to it. Go ahead.
Senator, thank you. Governor, you previously opposed an assault weapons ban, but it's only later in your political career did you change your position. Why?
Yeah, I sat in that office with those Sandy Hook parents. I've become friends with school shooters. I've seen it. Look, the NRA, I was the NRA guy for a long time. They used to teach gun safety. I'm of an age where my shotgun was in my car so I could pheasant hunt after football practice.
Okay, so that was one of the ones that
That's like I think he misspoke, but to say that I'm friends with school shooters, like we hang out on the weekends. I tell them not
friends with a
school shooter.
So that was one of the moments. Tom, your thoughts on that when he said that?
When he said peasants, I was really worried that he's talking about the poor, but it wasn't going to surprise me because he's up there, Christian. So what happened? What was very interesting to happen is right now we're not going to know what the bounce is for about a week and a half for real polls. But here's what we did find in early focus groups: the enthusiasm for J.D. Vance went up with Trump supporters. Why? Because we really didn't know him yet, but now we saw him in this context, and he did not come off as a jerk. He came off very presidential. And if you take a look, there were thousands of tweets by regular people. I was scanning through all kinds of stuff, Pat, that said, wow, I'm confident of him being president as a vice president if something should happen. Yeah. So that meant JD showed well to the Republican supporters who said, didn't see you this way, like what I see, you could even be the president, like it. But that's not going to move the independent voters yet. Walz, believe it or not, gained a little traction with enthusiasm, not new voters, with Democrat women, middle-class women, who thought he was approachable and nice and friendly. However, there was also a great deal of, okay, who won the debate? We have the overnight opinion polls. It was 65-35, anybody you look at. If you can find a couple very liberal stations that would say, oh, it was 50-50. Yeah, right. Even CNN and ABC were saying, well, this is 65-35 according to the polls we're seeing. And that's what came out of it. So what was really interesting about this is JD didn't make any gaffes. And he was unflappable. He tried to go up against the moderators. Once again, it was 3 against 1, 2 moderators and Walz up against Vance, and similar to what Trump faced. And so I would argue that the moderators, if you look at what was out there, even did worse than ABC. They caught more heat, especially Margaret Brennan, she was the one in the pink, caught more heat from citizens about the way they conducted themselves. So we'll find out if there's a bounce or if there's movement, but it showed great for JD. We got to see Walz a little bit. He came across as likable, but is he a likable frumpy uncle you want in front of Vladimir Putin? Nope. But the answer to that was no.
What was shocking about it, the fact that they got along and they were having a civil conversation, respectful, the moment about when he said his 17-year-old son witnessed, the shooting, and then he says, I am so sorry, may, Christ have grace, and J.D. Vance comes back, and you actually saw something where you said, this gave me the vibes of an 80s debate.
Yes.
Okay? It gave me a vibe of an 80s debate because the last, I don't know, how many years would you say, 12 years? Probably, the last 8 years. It's been very, very high tension, and do you think right now, after his performance on this debate that took place, do you think now JD is the #1 draft pick for 2028?
Well, a lot of people were saying that because Anne Coulter put out a very snarky tweet that I think she may want to pull back.
She won't.
And Anne ain't pulling nothing She back. Said, J.D. Vance looking great. What's the life expectancy of a 78-year-old in a high-pressure job? Which isn't a very nice thing to say. And what she's saying is, I like J.D. Vance as my president if something happens to Trump. But there was a lot of people that came out, and you saw Vance 28. So the Republicans, a lot of people are going to be running on that. But Vance is definitely a draft pick. Is he number one? Right now, if he becomes VP and shows well, how can he not be number one coming out of that?
You know what is impressive, though? What is impressive, the fact that while she could have chosen Shapiro, who's formidable, who carries himself well, who's tough, who's strong, well-spoken, right? She chooses him. And while he could have chosen anybody else, right? He could have chosen, and I'm not saying, I'm not going to give name. He could have chosen a couple other guys. But he chose somebody that called him out before.
Oh, horrible. Call him Hitler.
Exactly. To now put him there to show that I'm okay with somebody that can have moments bigger than me. Because Vance yesterday, 2 days ago, was all about Vance. He shined.
Big time.
He shined in a big way to
Yeah, and that's something I noticed too, is a lot of people were very happy with J.D. Vance after the vice president debate. Please let me know your thoughts in the comments below.
the point when even liberals were sitting there saying, I was not expecting to like this guy.
Yep.
I ended up liking this guy. There was a moment where, when I looked at Waltz, I tweeted something. I said, listen, I don't know about you, but Waltz seems 10 times more likable than Kamala. I just liked Waltz more than Kamala. There was something about him, I'm like, I like this guy. I don't know if debating is for him. He's not a guy that should be debating. But for what it was worth, he was likable. I thought JD just talked, poised, strong, gave his issues. You could tell this guy went to Yale, studied debate. You could tell this guy's a true believer on stage when he's speaking. I was very impressed with Waltz. Adam.
Going down the line, draft
Adam, weird luck.
pick for 2028. It isn't even close. It's Vivek. The guy's a beast. He's a monster. He's not going anywhere. I think we learned something about him 2 days ago that I could see him being the next governor of Ohio. No problem. Would you want to be a part of the Trump administration? Do you want to be governor of Ohio? Vivek will have his chance. Obviously, JD will be there.
So Adam, not to cut you, because I know you want to say something, but wait. So and I'm being genuine. Do you think? Cause I don't know if it was you or one of us. Somebody said it where the fact that Vivek, I think he's ridiculous. He's amazing. I love the guy, but the fact that he's not a Christian, do you think he's still the number one choice as a Christian majority country? Would they be comfortable voting for a non-Christian as a president?
Very good question. Very good.
I want to vote for a Christian for president. I think that matters immensely. Let me know if you guys agree with me in the comments below. But I guess that's all we're going to get into today. Kind of just, as always, I want to know your thoughts in the comments below. What did you think of the debate? Who do you want to win? I'm sure you guys want Trump to win, knowing this channel. Who do you think will win? Do you think they'll allow Trump to win? And if so, what does that say about Trump? A lot of things to have on your mind. But thank you guys so much for watching, as always.